Welcome to the RAOB program's Real-Time Display module. Use of this module requires access to the Advanced Cross-Section module. This real-time display module enables RAOB to repeatedly read new sounding data and then automatically create and process time height diagrams. To access the real-time display module, we first select the Sounding Diagrams display menu, and then the cross-section option, or just press the F6 key. Note that you can automatically open RAOB with this cross-section display with a simple configuration change. Just select Options, then Program Options, and look at the Display Preferences tab and the default Sounding Diagram section. It is currently set with the Main Sounding Screen option, and we'll want to change it to the Vertical Cross-Section option. And now each time RAOB is activated, it will start with the cross-section display. Once we're in the cross-section display mode, we can get to the real-time display by selecting the Displays menu, and then the Real-Time Display option. But please remember that this option requires that your RAOB program has access to the Advanced Cross-Section module, which has its own video presentation. Here is the Real-Time Display Options panel. It has two tabs, the Data and Timer options and the Weather Alerts tabs. And so we'll start by looking at the Data and Timer Options tab, and then the Data section. Use the Location option button to identify the data path. Then there's the File Content option. Here there are two options, one for single sounding file and the other for multiple sounding files. First, we'll discuss the Single Sounding Files option. For the Single Sounding File option, each file can contain only one sounding profile. Additionally, the file mask must be specified in this mask field, where the datetime group information is the critical part of the file name. Once the file mask is identified, you can then use the Test Mask button to confirm how many files are currently located in the data path. And here is an example file name matching the identified file mask. Now we'll look at the second File Content option, which permits use of files containing multiple soundings. But for this option, RAOB currently only accepts multi-sounding files produced by the Radiometrics Corporation. These files contain ground-based radiometer profiles, and as this reminder indicates, each file must end with the text lv2.csv. When using single sounding files, however, we are presented with additional data selection options. By using the Displays option, you can tell RAOB the time period to use for diagram creation. The Time Mode option specifies if your datetime group information is local or UTC. The System Datetime Base section should typically be set to the current system option for normal operations. But if you want to experiment with historical data, then you'll need to use the Relative System option for proper date and time referencing. This Relative System option fools the computer's internal clock with the date and time information you enter here. Then for the Timer section, you can tell RAOB how often you want your time height diagrams updated. This, of course, should be consistent with how often your source sounding data is updated. You can also tell RAOB to play a short sound after each diagram update. And you can even have RAOB auto-start this real-time display process in case of unforeseen problems, which can result in system reboot. The last section provides options for image capture. You can select from several image formats. You can identify the path where the images will be saved. Once you enter the file name you want for saved images, you must specify whether the image file will be continually overwritten, or whether the images will be sequentially numbered. Finally, you have an option to FTP these images after they are saved to file. So let's turn the real-time processor on and see how it works. We'll use the single sounding mode as currently set, and since we don't have a real-time data feed on this PC, we'll use test data, where we'll need to use the Relative Datetime option. For our test data, we'll need to set the datetime information to match our data files like this. Now we're ready to use the Start Timer button for a time height diagram creation. So just click the button. Then enter a file name for a new time height diagram. And watch the progress bar at the bottom of the diagram as RAOB finds and processes the sounding data. And there's our time height diagram. Then notice in the upper left screen the next update message, which indicates the number of seconds before the next update cycle. Also notice a stop button, which when used becomes relabeled as the Resume Again button. Temporarily stopping the updates lets you apply a variety of analyses to the time height diagram. To demonstrate, let's open the Analysis toolbar. Let's first analyze for wind speed. Then overlay mediogram analyses for mixing height and surface wind speed. And now let's resume the Real-Time Updates button and watch the next cycle update the diagram. With just 10 seconds to go, watch the diagram update with the 00 hour sounding. And notice that the same diagram analyses overlays were again applied to the new data and updated diagram. For our last demonstration, we've cleared the screen and will again use the Displays menu to again access the real-time display options. This time we'll look at the Weather Alerts tab. Here we've already added several alert parameters. All alert parameters are controlled with this Alert Editor button, which has its own video. Also notice the above label, which says that alerts are only applied to the last or most recent sounding plotted on the time height diagram. So let's give it a try and see how it works. Now we'll again start the real-time processor. And this time we get an alert for maximum winds above 50 knots. The alert banner will remain until manually closed. And that completes the real-time display module demonstration. Thank you for watching.